This wasn't even I started when this wasn't even a thing. So I literally went door to door and launched my company with strangers. And I really grew up in this channel. I started in my early 20s when I didn't really even understand what a network was. I didn't have a ton of friends, but I knew that I had something dynamic and something passionate and that I felt passionate about to go out there and share because I knew that there had to be a better way than how I grew up. So I grew up in, I like to tell people I grew up in Montana, but I kind of grew up all over the place, to be honest. I moved 30 times by the time I was 20 years old. And with that, my parents were, my dad was a pastor. He had many different jobs. My mom worked at Pizza Hut at night and she worked at the hospital doing administrative work in the daytime and any odd jobs that she could. My dad worked building and roofing houses and digging ditches for $3 an hour when he could get extra work. And so we did anything and everything to just provide for the family. And direct sales actually entered my family at a time. I like to tell people, and Lanisa and Rachel hear this from me all the time. I was like, listen, I was poor. Like we couldn't even afford the double O. We would just pull. Like, not kidding. I grew up in a trailer. People gave my dad a car so he could do other jobs, thankfully through the church. And that's just how it was. And we all worked, but enter in direct sales. And my mom was, just the admin at the hospital and, putting pizzas together behind the counter at Pizza Hut and just kind of the quiet preacher's wife. And she got started in direct sales and it truly impacted my family's life in a way that was incredible that I'll always be grateful for. But she did it for a very short time. And it led to my parents doing other things and starting their own companies after a while, and where they found their success after my brother and I left at the house, which I always tease. I'm like, listen, why did you find success after we left? And they were like, because you needed to go to the school of hard knocks to really get your grit on. So Mark and I joke about that all the time. He was like, it's a good thing because I didn't know success until I was much older. And so with that, when I decided to start my own company, direct sales entered in the door once more. Now, I didn't know anything about it, but my mom and dad did. And so they helped guide me. And off I went to the races in this crazy, amazing channel. And the thing that I loved about it is it doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care your education. I didn't have a college education. I didn't even graduate high school. I got my GED. And it doesn't care, where you grew up or how you grew up. It gives an opportunity to everyone. And that's what I fell in love with. I got to watch people from my hometown, who were told, oh, I remember all the girls I grew up with, we were either going to be, professional babysitters or child daycare ladies, or we were going to do hair, and nothing wrong with that. But man, I had so many big dreams that I wanted to do. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it like this. And so it just really sparked something in me, especially after seeing my mom do what she did in just a short time. So fast forward, my company grew quite large. I wound up getting married in the process. My husband and I just kind of put our heads down and went to work. And a day popped when we thought, well, now it's time to have a family. And that was not in the cards that God had laid out before us. And so as I was going through that mental struggle and everything, God laid before me an opportunity to sell my business. And it was a great opportunity for my husband and I, because little did I know, not only a month after we sold my business, I would be told I would never have kids. And so it was a great opportunity for me to really focus on what I needed to focus on for me. I look back now and I know that I was gifted a time to heal and a time to take care of me and my husband. And it was a time I didn't understand then in the moment, which I'm sure you all can understand, but it's a time that I look back on now and I am just amazed at how gracious God's timing can be. And so after I got through that healing process, direct sales came calling again. Because again, I fell in love with something unique. The same thing that Coach sees, that Mark sees, that Cami and Kenzie and Kyler see, is that again, it doesn't discriminate. It says all who come are welcome, and that the road is evened for everybody. And so I decided to take my expertise into the corporate side. I've been with companies you all have probably heard of that are legacies out there, icons in the channel, like Tupperware brands. If anybody has Tupperware in their house, it's a direct sales company. You might have bought it somewhere else, but it started, and the name is actually a direct sales company. They have branded themselves very, very well globally. I've been with companies like Monate, if you've heard of them, Rodan and Fields. I've been with companies that you guys will never hear of because they were failures to launch, or maybe they just didn't have what it takes. And it has led me to this crossroads. So I will tell you, I was looking for something. I was searching for something that allowed me to be okay with my background, because a lot of companies, they have been very blunt and open with, they want a pedigree, they want that degree from a prestigious college, and that is not me, and I don't hide that. I've had people tell me that I'm a little bit too faith-based for them. And so when I met Mark and Cindy and they called me in, they said, tell us about you and what you're looking for. And I said, well, here's a couple of things I just want you to know off the bat. Because Cindy said, I'm sure you have all the credentials and everything. And I said, well, nope, I'm just going to tell you. These are my credentials. This is how I got started. This is my education level. And this is the grit. And then on the other side, know that I am a preacher's daughter. So it comes with the territory that I don't know how to separate God and me, nor am I ever willing to. And, I would love to work for a great company that respects all of those things. And I think it was in that moment in their living room, and I talked about this at CLV, that God just, opened Cindy's mouth and she said, we're looking for a strong Christian woman. And Mark said, the fact that you had to go and become who you are in this channel with the reputation that you have, the way you did, shows a lot of tenacity and grit. And that means more to me. And I thought, wow, Lord, if they could just say yes to me, how amazing would this be? So 8 months ago, they said yes to me, and it's been an incredible ride. So that's a little bit of my background, a little bit of my history, just so you guys can know where I'm coming from. I went back into the field for a couple of years, back in 2018, to grow again. And I was able to do so with a company and hit their top level rather quickly, because I wanted to be able to know, could I grow in today's environment? But I also know that God has provided me the opportunity to understand how you operate in the field and how to translate that so that in corporate, they understand how to provide our field with good assets. And then also how to talk to you all in a way that you understand what we're trying to do at corporate, because sometimes it's like two different languages. And a lot of times companies talk to y'all like you should be executives sitting in an office and you should totally understand how corporate runs. And they're like, go punch a clock 9 to 5. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. These are working mamas. These are ladies that have careers. These are single ladies who are high drivers and lawyers and doctors and dentists and school teachers and daycare workers and you name it. It's everybody. And they're not here to punch a corporate clock or to talk that same way. And so I found in this channel that there is such a need for somebody who has the translation bridge piece so that we can all get on the same page and align so that we're going the same way and we're not trying to row in opposite directions. And so that's a lot of why I'm here. But now, Tiara, I know we spoke, you said, now I've got some questions for you. Some changes have happened, and she's a straight shooter, y'all. Like she was hitting me up in the airport, I'll tell you. So I know you've got a list of questions, and let's dive into those.
Yes. Wow. I just want to point out, you guys, because you just said a lot of us, you would assume that we know what it's like with corporate, but we really don't. And what I just wrote down was she was waiting for a yes, and we all basically got to choose our yes. Do y'all realize that? She was waiting for a yes, come do this with us. Whereas we were able to say, yes, I want to do this. I'm starting. We get to keep saying yes. And she gets to keep saying yes too. And she's here for a reason. So I wanted to point that out. I also want to say multiple streams of income has always been important. Okay. And so we look at it like, oh, our parents, they didn't have it. But multiple streams of income was important then too. And many of us on this particular team, we were taught like, go to school, get the degrees, keep going back. If that doesn't work, keep going back. And we were, if you were taught that, put a number 2 in the chat. Y'all already know my story, okay? And so the difference is we have now dug ourselves deep in debt, and we're still not necessarily happy with where we are economy wise, okay? And so I want to point out that her parents needed multiple streams of income, and so does we. The Bible says that history will repeat itself, okay?
Amen.
So I don't think that's going to ever go away where multiple streams of income is not needed anymore. So I wanted to point that out as well. But the first question that I had down was sometimes change is hard. Can you speak to that? And we do have newbies here as well. So I guess like from a standpoint of newbies coming into the team and having this change of, oh my God, I'm doing something new. I've never done anything like this before. And then for those who have been with the company for some time and seeing corporate change and seeing the products change and the loyal customer program change.
Absolutely. So whether you're coming in brand spanking new, and congrats if you are coming in new, or if you've been here for 5-10 years and you're, and you're like, okay, there's some new changes and whatnot. Change is always hard, but change is necessary. And to your point, Tiara, or history will repeat itself, right? That's just how it is. We continue to repeat the same cycle until we learn and we decide this isn't the right path. And it's something that's a conscious decision. So if you're coming in brand new and you're like, I'm coming in because I'm hopeful that this is the change that I'm looking for, because what I'm doing isn't going to get me to where I want to go. And here in corporate, we're also saying like what we have done, we're grateful for where it's gotten us, but what we have done in the past, we're seeing that there is a ceiling and it's not going to get us to where we want to go. And so therefore change is necessary. I love the saying of, growing pains. If you're not growing and there is not pain in the process, I hope at that point I'm with Jesus, because I should feel pain throughout my entire life because I'm growing until the day I take my last breath. And that's truly how I view it. I look at the story of David in the Bible, and sorry, I use a lot of biblical references, but he went through pain the whole entire way. I look at the Apostle Paul, his job didn't get easier being an apostle and sharing the gospel. He went to prison. He kept experiencing pain, and then he got out of prison. You know what? He went back to prison, right? He kept going through pain until the cycle was broken. And then he found a new pain that he had to go through. There were new things. And so it's one of those things that you've always got to be anticipating, because the Bible says that the devil learns our habits, and until we decide to break the cycle, then and only then will he then move on to the next thing, because God will grow you in that process until that curse is broken. But then there will be a new thing that comes after you to attack you. And so same with this. So we looked at this as we came into corporate and we said, what is working for us? And is it getting the results that we want? So Doug came in a year ago, and the question was, if I go out and sell this right here, am I getting as a distributor the return on going out and sharing this product day in and day out for what the effort takes? And the answer was no, because the BV average was in the toilet. It was like $36 was an average BV order. Right now, I'm happy to report that our average BV order is over 70 BV. You guys, that's in a year. in a year because we ripped the Band-Aid and we said, we're not going to discount our opportunity because our opportunity is worth something. And if you give something away, people will always take advantage of it and they'll put it aside. They won't see the value in it, right? Like we teach our kids, people better see the value in you. Don't give things away for free. So the same with our business. We had to say, there's value here. And there's got to be a little bit of pain. It's still reasonable, but there's a little bit of pain in it. And so we said, no more of that. And then we said, we're going to be choosy and picky about how we discount our products. We're going to elevate what our products cost because our ingredients alone, the ingredients that we use are high dollar premium ingredients, but we can't give it away for Costco price because no one will ever see the value. And here's the thing, people who are really into product value, they don't look at a tag. They sit there and they say, I want to know that this is the best thing for me. Like, I don't know about you all, but when you find somebody who does your hair well, do you care what the price is? They do your hair. If you can go in and you sit down and they take care of you the way you want, and you don't have to like stress that you're going to come out with a bald spot, you'll pay them. You will find the money. You'll find the money. Same with our nails. We do the same thing. We're like, if we want it a certain way, we want to look good, right? Same with our lashes. I don't wear fake lashes, but I know my girlfriends do, and I know what they pay. And I'm like, you're crazy. But that's because I'm like, they're like, that's a whole lot of money. I'm very stingy with my money. I grew up poor. So I still have a hard time. Like, I love the look of fake nails, but I'm like, I feel convicted about doing that for me. But here's the thing is that I know my hair. I don't color my hair. I don't want somebody coloring my hair just yet. I mean, pretty soon because there's a lot of grays coming in, but still, I want to keep it as good as I can. But I will tell you guys, the other day, my girl wasn't there and I went in and I'm like, just cut straight across. Like, I don't need high maintenance on this cut, straight across. I am not kidding you. I walked out of there. It was 3 inches shorter than I told her to cut it. And there was a whole chunk, not a little chunk, a whole chunk that was still like 4 inches longer than everything else. Like, how do you miss that? I didn't know, but I was like, duly noted. Next time I'm waiting for my girl to come back in. And I don't care that the other girl was about $60 cheaper than my normal girl. I'll go back to my normal girl. It was a lesson learned. But the point is, value costs. And we've got to know our value. So we've also raised our prices a little bit. We've adjusted. Our suppliers are costing us more too. So we want to get ahead of it. We also said, customers, how many of y'all love to be told what to do as a customer? I mean, come on, be real. Like, drop a 1 in the chat that you love to be told what to do as a customer. Better yet, we have told our customers, you will be locked in our store for 3 months, or you have to pay us to get back out. That's not how we shop. That's not how we do things. We as customers like to know that we are in control. We like to determine our own fate. Am I right? Like, seriously, drop a 10. Give me a 10 if you are a customer that you want freedom to move about the country the way you want to move around the products that you want to purchase. And so we had to remove some restrictions there because we need to be consumer friendly. We did a survey with our consumers, those who are with us currently and those who have left us over the years. And we went in and we did a survey with them. And we said, tell us what you love. The number one thing was they hated the loyal customer agreement. So much so that the majority of people that we surveyed that have either left us or that were still with us, the ones that were still with us said, when the 3 months is up, we are done with your company. And I'm like, do you realize that once the 3 months is up, like, you're free to move about? And they're like, we don't care. That's telling. And to me, I look at it as, man, you guys work so hard for that customer, and we're the ones who are making it hard for them to stay. So we had to remove that because we want them to feel welcome. This is theirs to be able to move about however they choose. And so we wanted to do that. Does it mean that we've got to teach a little different way to sell? Yes, but that's okay because that is our job. And so that's what we're going to do. So you're going to see change. You're going to see more change coming. You guys, we also want to be able to offer our customers a money back guarantee that if they don't like the way something tastes, they have the freedom to say, you know what, I didn't like the berry greens. I want the chocolate greens. Or I don't like chocolate like I thought I did. I want the tropical smoothie instead. Okay, we want them to be happy with the products that they get and not be penalized. So we are working currently to bring out a program that will be able to give them a money back guarantee option or an exchange option. That's something that we hope to see in the first half of the year next year. It takes programming, it takes setting everything up, but we are working towards that direction. And so we're going to have more changes, but change is hard. But every single step that we're taking, so in a year, we have seen our BV go up. Let me tell you this. We've seen our enrollment order for our new loyal customers go from around $60 an average with pick 2 to right now, our average loyal customer joins our company for $107. You guys, we have almost doubled with our packs, with our pick 3. We have almost doubled because we're showing them systems. Because like I told Doug's like, why do we need systems? I said, listen, here's the thing you need to know about women. We don't like to talk about it, but this is just how we work in our mind. There's a reason that gyms are 98% of classes at gyms are filled with women. Tell us what to do and we'll do it. Give us a system and we'll do it for the results that we want. There's a reason, right, that Ulta is so successful because you can go in and you can ask them what you need for makeup and somebody will walk you through it and tell you what to do to help you get the look that you're wanting. There is a reason for those things. And so we needed to be that handheld system for our customers to be able to say, this is why we have the quiz to help them get the results that they're looking for. And these are why we have the packs, because we know that these are proven products to get results that they're looking for. So that's just a little bit of the change, Tiara. I don't know if you want more specific on one thing or if you want to move to another question.
That was perfect. If anybody has questions, you can definitely drop them in the chat, but that was perfect and more than what I expected. So loved it. I was thinking, like, I hope she comes on the Zoom like Doug and gives us a little bit more than she's supposed to.
I told you a little something. I might share a few other things.
Okay, and then can you explain the vision for 4-in-1 and corporate's expectation for us using 4-in-1 to promote to Diamond, not like logistically, but like the vision?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here's the thing. Just like I said, when you're brand new and you come in, you're like excited. Maybe you feel, I don't know. Did y'all feel, I felt like this when I first started my company. I was excited. I felt nauseous. I was like, I don't know if I'm excited and I'm going to jump for joy or if I'm going to throw up. Like, I seriously, and sometimes it like came in waves and it depended on how I felt. And then sometimes like I would have a great day and people were saying yes to me and sometimes people weren't. Well, here's the thing. If people are saying yes to me, I still need to understand, like, what's my goal? What's my goal? What is something that I can do that I can start measuring my success that is simple and easily repeatable, because that's where duplication comes into, right? Like, there's a reason why we teach our kids the ABC song. We teach them it in song because it's easy and it becomes something that's duplicatable. And it's the foundation of everything for them to start learning. Well, 4-in-1 is the same way. It's simple to explain. And it shows great duplication that builds into our other things. So we know that when somebody does a 4-in-1, first and foremost, it's giving them the roadmap. Go get 4 loyal customers. Go get somebody who's going to lock arms and do this business with you. You're going to see $150. So now it also rewards them, right? And so because of that, it starts this pattern of, oh, if I do this, I'm going to get this. And it's so simple and easy to use, but it's our building blocks for fast start. And as they build towards fast start and they start doing that, and they start telling their teams to do the same thing, they should start seeing themselves build out to Ruby. And then from there, if it keeps going and they keep going wide and their team keeps going wide with their 4-in-1s and they start to see that duplication, they'll start seeing it build out to Emerald. And then they'll start seeing it build out to Diamond. And so it really starts to set the foundational building blocks down so that everything fits together. And because of this, it gives us the ability to talk a simple, easy, duplicatable plan that allows us to help them understand in tier sections how to grow in our compensation plan. See, for too long, we were out there and we were like, don't worry about anything, just go to Diamond. Well, listen, it's hard to go to Diamond when you just enrolled. Instead, let's start with the building block. Do 4 and a friend, get to executive. Do 4 and a friend again. Let's start getting you towards Ruby. Help them do 4 and a friend. Let's build out to Ruby. Next thing you know, you can start saying, okay, now that you've got 3 friends with you, let's go double that again. Now you can start talking to them about 4 and 3, because here's the thing. I don't know if you guys realize this. I don't know. I might have to get a piece of paper and start drawing, because now I might have to. But when you go do your 4 and your friend, right? So you have your 4 loyal customers and you have your friend over here. When you guys go get 2 more friends and you do three friends, when you help them go do their 4 and a friend, that's $1,200 in bonuses that you can unlock every single month when you do your first 4 and a friend. You don't have to go get 4 more friends for each of the other new DTs. You can go out and you can do a 4 and a friend, and that unlocks your first tier. But when you go do 2 more distributors and you have 3 distributors in a month and you help them do 4 and a friend, each time it's $350, $350, $350 plus your $150. That's over $1,200 in a month right there. That's on top of your commissions. That's on top of you growing your team. So when you do that on a monthly basis, and this is what our top leaders are doing right now, they're not focusing right now on 4 and a friend. 4 and a friend was built for a new person coming in so they can start seeing traction, they understand duplication. For leaders, we're starting to talk to them about 4 and 3 every month and helping them go get their 4 and a friend, because we know that there's a $1,200 bonus in it for you. We know that there's commissions. And then we also know that this helps you start building towards rubies every single month. And if you help somebody do that, it starts to help us build towards fat rubies. And fat rubies lead to fat diamonds, and fat diamonds lead to fatter double diamonds, triple diamonds, and so on and so forth. And we also know that this brings stability. And we haven't talked a lot about momentum and retention and stability in our business, but it's needed to be talked about, because when we don't talk about those things, we start to get frustrated in the turnover that will occur in this business. And so it's key to continue to focus on those things. So, when we looked at this plan, we said we needed a building block that can fit somebody who's brand new, but that can also fit the leadership mindset, whether you're brand new or not. And when we piled on the 4 and 3 with it, it builds right into all things good in our compensation, and everything cohesively works together. So every program that we builds with this in mind. Everything that we do builds with this program in mind, first and foremost. And the reason why is because it is the core to our compensation plan.
I love that. And I hope you guys are taking notes. To me, that sounded like it was simple enough for a 4th grader to understand. So 100%. I'm going to repeat. And I'm going to start saying this in my opportunity calls as well. Measure success that's easy and duplicatable, and that the 4 and 1 is the ABCs of going diamond. It's the first thing that your newbie should learn. It is the building block for getting paid. Okay. So as you progress in the business, the goal is to be paid more. So the first building block is completing your 4 and 1. which takes me to the next question. A lot of times on our team, people get stuck in the newbie phase. So they'll be 3 months, 6 months, 4 months in, they're still like, I'm a newbie. I'm a newbie. So at what point should they start completing 4 and 3? From, I mean, I can say when I think they should, but if you could say, like, what would your suggestion be for, like, when should their mindset shift from 4 and 1 to 4 and 3? As soon as they complete their first 4 and 1, or the willingness
Okay.
to start? Or
I love this question. And I'm going to apologize now if I hit anybody between the eyes. Just know my heart. Okay. You guys, the person gets to determine. Because here's the thing that I used to do is I would come in and I would say, Brittany, I'm so excited that you decided to join this company. Let me ask you, what do you want to make this month so that you can feel like you joined the right company? What does that look like? Now, Brittany comes to me and she's like, Meredith, I need to make $500. Okay. I'm going to say, all right, I can get you $500. Here is what you need to do. We're going to set your expectations right there. I'm going to tell her you need to do a 4 and 1, tier 1, tier 2 cycle. That's $500. Now, if she comes to me and she's like, Meredith, I need $1,500. I'm going to say, okay, roll up your sleeves. I've got the plan for you. Or even if she says $1,000, I'm going to say, okay, roll up your sleeves. I've got the plan for you. It's not going to be easy, but it's doable with the right mindset. And you got to be all in. I'm going to tell her 4 and 3 right then and there. Because that's $1,200 if she goes and does it and they go do their tier 1s. That's $1,200 guaranteed. That's on top of commissions. But I'm going to tell her $1,200. Now, here's the other thing. Now, Brittany and I are going to be, I'm going to tell her, we are going to be locked at the hip every single day. I'm going to tell you what to do. This is how many people you're going to reach out to. I'm going to tell her she's going to do 3 live events in person at her house. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care if the apartment's dirty. I don't care. Go to a coffee shop, figure it out. You're going to do 3. You're going to do them back to back because belly to belly and energy is non-replaceable. Non-replaceable. And I'm going to ask her, is this is the $1,000 negotiable? Now, if she says it is negotiable, she's not serious about her goal. But if she says this is a non-negotiable, I'm going to be like, all right, here we go. I'm going to tell her, you're going to have to reach out, and then you're going to have to post. You're going to have to host and post this many every single day. And you need to learn the phrase, when can we talk? Because you don't need to know everything. I know everything that you need to know. So I'm going to say, when you get somebody who's ready to go, you get me on the phone. That's your job. You are the one bringing me to the table, but I'm the one who's going to close them. And you're going to learn from me as I speak. And we're going to be locked side by side. But here's the thing, you guys. If I'm reaching out to Brittany and she's ghosting me, right? Because, it could be your best friend. She might live next door. You may never see that woman again, like ever. Your friends you were friends. Your kids had a play date. No, she disappeared. She evaporated. Like she got sucked up by some aliens or something, or into a black hole, right? I mean, legit, I've had friends that I've never seen or talked to again. And I'm like, we were good. You were at my wedding. I don't even understand. But anyways, that happens. If that happens, cut them loose, let them go. I usually will message and be like, hey, seems like it wasn't the right time. If you ever need something, just reach out. I'm here when you want to. Now, Brittany calls me up and she's like, well, Meredith, the kid got sick, or this happened, or that happened, or I have a soccer game or whatnot. I'm going to say, hey, Brittany, totally get it. Life happens. Sounds like right now is not a good time, but we need to reassess your goals because you're not going to meet your expectations. Those are very intentional words because they are not my expectations. They are hers. And I'm going to make sure that she knows it and she hears it. Because if you don't, they will blame you for missing their goals. And we like to internalize that. And then we tell ourselves we're not good enough and we're not a good leader and we're not like Tiara and da. Insert whatever you want. We're not like Rachel, whatever. If Tiara is doing all of the things and not getting traction, I'm going to ask her if she's coachable because there's something that she's saying or doing that's rubbing people wrong. Maybe she's too excited. right? Ignorant bliss on fire, but still you might need to curtail it a little bit. I don't know. Or maybe she's telling him all the things like, oh, I was scared too, but no, no, no. You might just need a little bit of polish. Or she might be doing all the things. And here's the key. She might be doing all the things and closing the people and not even calling you. Y'all, that's a unicorn. You need to just be that girl's biggest cheerleader. Like, go, Brittany, go. Fly, baby, fly. And just encourage it. Don't get mad about it. Don't be like, she's not calling me, or she called me for the first week, but now she doesn't use me anymore and she's closing them all. Good, go find another one. The point is, you don't get to dictate where they fall in that process. So it could be day one that they sign that you're telling them 4 and 3. It could be day one that you're only telling them about 4 and 1 because maybe they have smaller goals because they're more nervous or they don't have time. That's okay. But I love what Tiara said, because this is what I would do. Once they complete the first one, I'd be like, girl, go do it again. I had a leader call me the other day and she said, what do? I said, I want you to go do a 4 and 1 and I want you to call me when you're done. The very next day, she sent me a message. She said, I got my 4 and 1. What do? I said, go do 2 more. A week later, she would reach back out. She said, what do? I said, go do another one. Like, the plan is simple, because here's the thing is that it takes so many people coming in the door direct to you wide before you find those who are going to stick. Because let me tell you, some people are only in it for a day. Some people are only in it for 3 to 6 months. And then you have your people that are going to be your people, and they're going to stick with you. And you can never tell who those are. Then you're going to have some people who hang out with you for 3 years, who do nothing. I had this one girl, Mari. She did nothing for 7 years until life circumstances changed. And she had, after that, about 5 years later, her business was worth 14 million a month. Took her 7 years. She just kept hanging on. Everybody was like, just delete her out of the system. We just left her there. You never know when somebody's circumstances change and they decide, hey, it's time to get out of the rut and I'm ready to go through the pain of pruning or going through the pain of change, but it's time. You never know. So you just let them know you're there.
Perfect. That was such a great answer. Thank you so much. Y'all show her some love. Oh, she's Sharon said, woo. Show her some love in the chat. That was like the perfect explanation ever. I took so many notes. The last question I have, and this is not really a question. This is like, some people here don't know the importance of getting to conference or getting to an event or fighting for the next C La Vie. So if you could just pour your heart out, and we've on this Zoom last night before last, Sunday night, I was at the event, but my leaders shared their conference stories. So if you could share the importance of them making it to this conference this year or next year, do that.
I would love to. Let me ask this question. I'm going to ask, and I want everybody to feel okay to be 1000% honest and authentic. How many of you all, you see your leaders on this page and you think they deserve to be there, but I'm not sure if I deserve to be there just yet, or I don't deserve. You're just struggling with, you don't know if this is for you or if it could be for you, or if you're enough to make it work, or if you're a good enough leader, or if you're whatever the thing is. Drop a 5 in the chat for me and be okay with being honest. If you're like, I'm not Brittany, I'm not Rachel, I'm not Tiara, like, they're incredible. Of course they're going to be the leader, but man, that's not me. I can't be her. I'm not born to lead, or I'm not born for this. I was fortunate. You guys, when I say I grew up in rough circumstances, I had incredible, incredible parents. But I grew up, when I say I grew up working, like I grew up working a 60 and 80-hour week at the age of 10. And I didn't have a high school or even a middle school education. And I know some of you are like, wait, middle school? Yeah, middle school. I was 10 with a full-time job and a couple of them. Because when I say we didn't have. And as a family, we all got to work. And as I grew up, I really didn't understand that that put me at a disadvantage later in life as an adult, because I just thought that that's what people did. I thought that if your family didn't have money to live, that every kid went to work. I didn't know I was any different. My parents really didn't let me know that I was any different. They didn't let me know that there was a problem there, because they didn't see it as a problem. So therefore I didn't see it as a problem. But here's where I'm getting to. I finally grew up and I started my own company, and I didn't realize that probably a non-educated, non-high school, middle school educated woman shouldn't have started her own business. I had no idea that that was a thing. And then I got into corporate America, and I started doing really good in corporate America until somebody pointed out to me that I was less than my colleagues because I didn't have the background that they had. And I didn't have the upbringing. I didn't have the same childhood. I had a very different childhood, and one I'm exceptionally proud of, and one that I literally give God thanks for daily, because without it, I wouldn't be me and I wouldn't be here. But I will never forget sitting on a call with my colleagues, thinking that I was the most uneducated, non-smart person there could ever be on the planet on that call. And talk about not being able to even think that I was worthy enough. And man, I was like, the devil was whispering some evil things, and I was heading down a path of feeling like Gideon. I'm the runt. I'm part of the lowest, most poverty tribe. If you guys don't know the story of Gideon, he was the lowest tribe, most poverty stricken, worst of the family, the youngest, hiding, sifting wheat in the dark. And the Lord came along and said, "Look at you, my mighty warrior." But he didn't think that. Matter of fact, he rejected it. I share that because if you're on the Zoom and you're thinking, I'm amongst these giants, these incredible, talented, beautiful women, you are. But you are your own beautiful, incredible, talented, gifted giant of a leader as well. And the only way you can get out of the self-talk, which will keep us from moving forward, and it'll keep us from striving for the trips. It's the number one thing that will hold us in fear. Because you can either walk in faith or you can stand in fear, but I guarantee you cannot do both. But it'll keep us from going to conventions. It'll keep us from going to events. We'll show up in our comfort zone of what we feel is comfort, but we won't step out into what is uncomfortable. And we will hold ourselves back intentionally. And we will keep ourselves from being around others. And here's what you'll find at these events. You'll find others who go, I felt like that too. Or I feel like that now. But I'm ready to make a mental shift and decide who and whose I am. And that only comes by going and being around environments like convention. It's not for the fact, trust me, I'm very clear. It's not for the fact of what we're going to stand on stage and tell y'all. The magic happens when y'all get around each other and you sit down and you start talking. You go, man, I felt like that too. I felt defeated too. I felt like I couldn't make it too. You know how many conversations of people sat in the room at CLV and said, I can't believe we're here. I didn't think I'd make it. I don't think I should be here. I didn't feel like I should be here. I can't believe, well, we're not the top 10. We're not the top 20. We're not the top 100 or 50. Why are they recognizing me? Because we're recognizing those who are saying, we're ready to get out of our comfort zone. We're ready to walk in faith and not stand in fear. And it might be uncomfortable, but that's where we're going. And you see, I had to come into an experience where I will never forget that phone call. I sat on the phone and I felt so small. And yet I was the number one person on the entire team of a multiple billion-dollar brand. And I couldn't have felt more small or unworthy. But I also had to recognize I was under severe attack. And I was allowing myself to listen to the excuses in my head, not to the wise words of the ones who I love, who are trying to pour into me, like my husband, my pastor, my mentor, my parents. I wasn't listening to the Lord and what he spoke over me. And I remember asking my husband, and I still regret this conversation to this day. It's probably the most painful thing I've ever said to my husband, but I literally asked him if he thought I was smart. And of course, he lost his temper at me, which thankfully he did. Thank you, Lord. But here's the thing. He could lose his temper and he could try to pour into me, but I'm the one who had to make a mental decision that that word was the lie of the devil. And I had to start to realize, absolutely not. I am the daughter of the King of Kings. Nobody is going to tell me. He has blessed my life. He has allowed this to be my mission ground. He is the one who has given me every single thing I've ever had, every idea, every thought, every single thing that comes from him. Who am I to say that I am not smart when he has said to me, look at you, you mighty warrior. And here's the thing, he's doing that to every single one of you. So if you're sitting here and you're thinking, well, I'm not that person. I'm not going to be as good as Tara. I'm not going to be as good as Brittany. I'm not going to be as good as Rachel. I can't get to CLV. I can't get to conference. I can't. Let me tell you something. You better start changing the words that you are allowing to come out of your mouth, because words, there is life and death in the tongue, and those words will hold you down. They will drown the dreams, and they will start holding you captive for the life that God has prepared before you. And here's the other thing. God will bring you to it, but you've got to walk through it. And the only person who can walk away from what God has brought you to and has said, this is yours to go get, is you, nobody else. So you've got to be able to say, if you are meant to go to conference, if you have it in your heart, you want to be there, but you're terrified or you're scared or you feel a little fear around it, let me tell you something. Fear is a liar, because fear does not come from our Father, not at all. He says, I give you a spirit that is calm. In the storm, I will sleep. Do not be foolish, children, for I am here and I am with you, and I will guide you through everything. So if this is something that you say, you know what, I want to be higher than them all, then go be higher than them all. Pray about it, seek it, be locked in with him. But understand, the only way, if it is planted, if it is a seed in your heart, then you start going and you start harvesting, you start doing the things, you start watering yourself, and you start rooting out those weeds that are around it. And that might mean, like Coach said the other night, to cut the rope. You might have some bad influences around you that you might need to say, you know what? No more. It might be your loved ones. And you might say, you're not allowed to speak that over me anymore. You're not allowed to say those things anymore. I actually went to my friends who I worked with and I said, no more. I'm the person you're trying to catch and you're trying to tear me down. Absolutely not. Watch me. I don't need the education because my father, he's the one who said, I'm going to anoint you. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter how hard you had to work as a kid. It doesn't matter. He said, you don't listen to those things. I am going to make the path and I'm going to let those who need to see you. And the rest of them, don't even look at them. You just keep going. So when you asked me that, I felt so anointed to share with you guys. If you feel like you should be there, let me tell you something, you should be there because those who show up, like that's just how it is. Those who show up, those who put in the work, those who put in the steps, don't even think twice about it. You don't have the funds right now to get there. Go do 4 and 3 months, three months in a row. You put that money aside, you honor that money, you sow it back into yourself and into growing. You show up at convention. You want to go to the next CLV because there is going to be another CLV. I'm just going to say we're going to make this an annual trip. I'm just little hint right there. But here's the thing. You want to be there next time. You want to say, you know what, Tiara, you're not going without all of us. You make a mental decision right now. You're going to go. And then you set up the plan and you start doing the things that you need to do to get there. Because again, if he lays it before you, the only way you won't get it, the only way it will not happen is if you decide to walk away from it. No thing can come up. The devil can try and throw everything, every distraction, tell you all the nasty little things of why you shouldn't be there because, whatever. You either decide to listen to it or you don't. You decide to listen to the excuses in your head, or you decide to say, I'm going to listen to the word and what he says about me. And that's the only word I need to listen to. And you just go. You got to do the work, and the work is painful. But you got to choose your pain. It's either painful working for it, or it's a painful regret to watch it go by. Sorry, I got a little preachy. I'm like all sweating now. Woo.
Ooh, no, that was all we needed and more. That was my last question. I don't know if anyone else has any questions. I thank you so much for your time. And my heart is full just being able to learn more about you and stuff. I feel so more connected to the new corporate team. I will also say this. If you guys felt the fire in your heart from this Zoom, put a fire emoji in the chat, or you can put a number 7 if you don't have that emoji.
Oh,
And
thank
I
you.
want to also point out to you, for those who have felt that feeling on the Zoom, this again is the reason why we press to you the importance of personal development, because you guys were just developed spiritually and professionally and personally from everything that she just shared with us. And you cannot just get it on Zoom calls. You have got to take the time to continuously pour into yourself. If you're not pouring into yourself, the doubt, the whispers, the self-doubt is going to come into your head. It's just going to happen. And I see that Ashley, is that Ashley? Did you raise your hand? Okay. Ashley raised her hand to speak. And Ashley was at C Live too.
Oh,
Hey, Marilyn. So I know you have wrote a few books, and I believe I had got one from Amazon or somewhere. Do you have them audio?
I
Or is
don't.
all you don't? Oh my gosh. Okay. So it must be somebody else. I could have
Okay, but I
swore.
want to just tell you this though. So many times God has laid it on my heart. So I feel like you're giving me a word. So thank you for just saying something. God uses everybody.
Look at that. Brittany, I'm unmuting you now.
Sorry, I had to run away from the baby. But I just want to say, Meredith, like you literally, it was a blessing to meet you in person, first of all. But then for you to speak and come on and pretty much bridge the gap, because I still work full time. I work full time as an accountant. So many times as a worker, that's exactly what we need. The people in corporate don't understand the people that are doing the work or in the field, and vice versa. And it's like, it's always a disconnect. So like, you are in the right place doing God's work. Like, I feel like I totally have the full package with this company, like with all the changes that are being made. Every single thing that we are doing as a company, as a field team, as a corporate team, is what it should be. And it's like, it just makes my heart explode. Like, I'm so excited to even have this opportunity to even, like, I never thought in a million years, just had the conversation with my husband this morning. Like, I never thought I would be fulfilled with something like this. Like, you always think you know what is going to make you happy, what is going to, fulfill your dreams or your purpose. And then God just said, boop, no, it's this thing. It's that, and go that way. And sometimes we're resistant to it. And it's like, now that I can see all the things unfolding, like, I just say, Lord, I wish I would have tapped into this sooner. But again, I'm just glad to be a part of the experience, glad to see the changes, and glad to have you here again, because it's like you'll be the voice for us that's in the field to make sure that we have that connection to corporate, and they understand how we feel and what we need and all those things. So I thank you, and I can't wait to see you on the next trip.
We will see each other soon. I know it.
Yeah, so I'm not going to hold you any longer. I will tell you guys, I did take a picture with Meredith, and I let her know our team is going to the top again, which is why I had to stop her, because I'm like, it is not okay for her not to know my face or name. Okay. Like, so I stopped her and I was like, listen, I am Tiara Tilly. You have not met me yet, but you're going to know us. So we are going to the top. I had so many great conversations with so many leaders this week. And I swear to you guys, like, again, another reason why you have to make it to the event is so crazy how you just know, like, God placed people at certain places and events. Y'all know my husband, okay? Y'all know my husband, and y'all know he does not talk. He's never been on a Zoom to speak, right? Put a number 8 in the chat if you've ever seen CJ on a Zoom speaking. Nobody has. The most rewarding conversation that I had this week, he orchestrated. And this is why I tell you guys, like, you have got to pull your men into this business. You have got to show them why they should believe in you. If they're not supportive, what are you doing to change that? My husband has always been supportive, but he is not an extrovert at all. And the whole time that he's having conversations and people are walking up to him, he's like, I don't know why these people are talking to me. I'm an introvert. I don't know why. And I'm like, so am I. So now you see why I love the business so much. I'm like, I don't know why I love this business so much. I'm an introvert. I don't know. Now he sees it, guys. And the most rewarding conversations that Ashley, Brittany, and I had, he was the one that started the conversation, not just for us three, but for our husbands. That's the beauty of what we do. So I'm not telling you guys to just get yourself there. If you have a significant other, it needs to be you and them at the next trip, at conference, at C Live V. Your family needs to be there. Yeah. Brittany said, real husbands of it works. I love it. Well, thank you again, Meredith, for your time. I loved it, and we will see you very soon.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I so appreciate getting to know you all a little bit more, and anytime, I'm always available. We're here to grow together, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So thank you so much for being so bold and coming up. She did. She said that just that. She's like, you need to know who I am. So I know who you are, and I will not forget.
Thank you. Well, we'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Y'all, that was so good. I did write down something else, and I don't know if Brittany and Ashley want to speak on different things that they learned at conference, but I did want to also point out to those who are new on the Zoom, She just said that she sold her direct selling business. And I'm not telling you guys this because I want y'all to sell your business or anything, but again, how many of us can sell our position at our jobs and take a hiatus or take a sabbatical or do whatever we need to for our family or kid? We can't do that, y'all. We can't do that. And another thing is, when I was talking to her, because I didn't know anything about her story, I did ask her, did she have kids? And I felt so bad when she told me she wasn't able to. But so just hearing that that was a part of her story, I'm like, whoo, like that makes me feel so much better. And this is what this industry gives us: the confidence, the strength to be able to use our story and bless other people. Instead of us using it as a scar, she's using her story to bless other people. And that is, again, why I love it so much. Brittany, did y'all want to share anything, or Ashley, or y'all want to close out on that note?
Yes, yes, yes. So I'm gonna be real quick before to Brittany. I know you got some stuff to say, girl. I already know it. So I'm gonna go ahead and say my little piece before we end this. But y'all, just like Meredith had mentioned, like and Tierra, my fiance, he was not supportive. I've been in the business for 4 years, diamond leader. He was not supportive in my business at all. But I wouldn't give up. Yeah, I have a full-time um job that I do outside of this and make really good money. He couldn't understand why I still wanted to do this whole social media thing. He just wasn't supportive at all. And then of course, maybe after the third year, he see I wasn't giving up. So he came around to it and let me have my time on my trainings and all that, but still not having that unsupportive person is kind of like a pull, tug and war. Because once he come home in the evening, it's like I had to have my phone down. And that's when people come home from their regular 9 to 5. And that's when it's time to place orders, do some calls. And I couldn't do that. So that was preventing me from a lot. Long story short, won the trip. My birthday is tomorrow. So I won the trip. I'm like, you gonna go with me. I worked my butt off to make sure he go, because I knew I wasn't gonna be able to go. He might thought that, but I was gonna go if I who wouldn't? I'm going. So, anyways, I got him to go with me. Everything changed. He said, when's the next one? I said, conference right around the corner. He said, book it. I'm gonna pay for it. Like, book it today. I love the guys. I love the stories. Imagine when he come to conference. He said, if you change, Ashley, and you really start working on your health and wellness goals, like you help all these other people, and this is just being truth, ladies. Y'all my team, y'all my sisters. I fell back. Yeah, I have fell back on my health and wellness goals. Then gained some weight and the devil started messing in my ear. But whatever the case may be, he like, Ash, if you really get on your business, start working on your own personal health and wellness goals. Because I told Brittany, I whispered to Brittany, I said, I love this business. Don't knock my drink over. I said, I love this business, but I promise you, I think I might need to step away for about a year to get myself together. I got a lot of weight to lose. I'm pushing these health and wellness products, but I'm gaining some weight. She said, no, Ashley, you share your story. These people gonna do it with you, and just having the ladies there really pour into me because they was the same way. I even told Tierra a little piece of it. She said, Ashley, look around. You ain't the only one. These ladies is up here making mad money and nobody's skinny. It's not a one size fit all. But I know me and I know I need to be healthy. I'm about to be 39 years old. I have an 8-year-old right here that I love and I want to be here for him. Thank God I ain't got no health problems. But I need it for me. So if that's going to pull this man in, even more moral of the story, me work on my health and wellness goals and get my life together, why wouldn't I? That's what I'm here for. That's what we're here for. I can help 1,000,001 people, but if I ain't helping self, then what is it? What am I doing? So that's my focus. That's my birthday gift, is a mind change, is a mind shift. So like we wrote on that board, it's nothing but going to the top. He asked me what I want for my birthday tomorrow. I don't want nothing. Just a blessing from God that I could change my mindset and just go, because that's all I pray for. And I know if I keep doing it, it take one day, every day, you know. So I'm happy. Moral of the story, he's convinced. And I know when he get the conference, that's when I took off. I dragged for a whole year. I didn't do nothing. One, two customers, couple customers, I was happy. But when I went to conference, it changed my life. And I never looked back. I took off from there on out. I went to Diamond quickly. That year, I believe. Maybe that following year. But I didn't take my running shoes off. And I never will. Because we here for a reason. The people I could reach, they not in your bucket. But the people you could reach, I can't see them. It's like a tree. We all branches. God got a divine plan for everybody. We all here for a reason. All right, Brittany, I'm gonna go ahead and pass the mic because I keep going. Like,
So good, Ashley. And for real, like I have so much to tell y'all. Like I could be on here all night too, but I know it's kind of late already. So I'm just gonna pick a few little quick things that stuck with me, just some sayings that I was like, oh my God, like I needed to hear that. So the first thing was she said, for all the leaders, if you are a leader and let's say you turn around and you look to see if somebody is following you, if you turn around and no one else is following you, you're just out taking a walk. And so what that hit home for me is that, of course, I can enroll people. I can and get customers on my own. I can do all those things. But if I am not teaching or duplicating the process for someone else to follow the system that we have in place, I'm just out here. I'm just out here, taking a walk. Another thing that Mark said, he said, and Meredith just touched on it. He said that he told us we needed to cut the ropes. Cut the ropes. Too many of us are hanging on to fear. We are hanging on to what's in the past. We are hanging on to toxic relationships. We are hanging on to bad habits. And it is time to cut the rope. You don't have all day, all year, next week, next month to make that decision. The time is now to cut the ropes so that you can continue to prosper and grow into your business and get the things that you deserve. And then the last thing that I want to tell y'all, and I said, I'm good today. I'm real brief. I'm proud of myself. The last thing that I want to tell y'all today was that he literally said, he stood on stage, and I tell you, y'all have to get in the room. Like what Tierra said, like, I was like just super excited just to see all the husbands getting along and talking. And I'm like, oh my God, they got friends now. But like when Mark got on stage, it was just, again, another vibe to see the genuineness, like how serious he is about his vision and how he don't play about it. He's staying 10 toes down. He's not going to listen to nothing else. Like he literally said, word on the street is, and he was like, guess what? They always want to talk about our business, but they're not in our business. So if they're not in our business, like, why are we listening to that? Why are we worrying about the rumors? Why are we even, giving that our energy? Like, we have to cut the ropes. He said there is room at the top for anybody that wants to be there. We just need to find the people that are hungry for it. And he looked out into the crowd. He said, I don't need all y'all to do. He said it flat out. If you ain't ready to work, don't even come up here. Like he put it out on the table. If you don't want to run, it's okay. Just stay in your seat. But if you ready to run and you hungry and you got that grit, get up here. Let's do this huddle. And I was like, okay, he talking to me. He talking to you, and you, whoever is on this Zoom right now, listening to me repeat what he said. Like, if you ready to run, get up here and run, because there's room for every single person out here that wants it. So I'm going to end with that. Go ahead, Tierra. You can close us out.
In closing, just because we decide that we're going to run, y'all, does not mean that life is going to be peachy keen. Okay? It does not mean that everything is going to be easy going forward. You will be tried. Why? Because the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And so he's going to keep trying you to the point that you have to like literally look at him and laugh like, yo, you're weak. Like, you're corny. At this point, I'm like, yo, you're corny. I'm saying that to the enemy because, like, when are you gonna realize you're not gonna win? You're not gonna win here. Okay? And that's your faith speaking, guys. You have got to have the faith to look the enemy in his face and let him know, I don't care that you keep trying me. You are not gonna win this battle. I promise you I'm not gonna fold. Not this time. Okay? So I'm letting you guys know that we are going to the top. And we are taking everybody that wants to go to the top with us. And that's where we're going to end tonight. Y'all have a blessed night. I love you all. I am praying for you all in all of your circumstances. And we will see you guys on Power Hour tomorrow morning.